Alrighty everyone, in this video I'm going to be giving you an update on Cumulus Media, a stock that has been on a roll over the past couple of months. So as you all know, this is one of my largest holdings, and there's been a number of very important developments with this company that I think will send the share price even higher than it is now. So in this video, I'm going to go over what these things are and how they could add some huge upside to the company. If you want to watch my original analysis on Cumulus, I'll put a card up to that video right now. But just for a quick recap, Cumulus is a radio broadcasting company, and they also own a number of podcasts as part of their digital audio network. So let's get into why the stock price has been going up so much lately. So the first big news is Cumulus Media completes offer to purchase 2026 notes. So this is the big elephant in the room for this company, why they've been down so much over the past year, but they've been making a lot of progress in paying down their debt. And so just last month, the company purchased 47 million of their 6.75% senior secured first lien notes due 2026. And so this is a huge chunk of this 2026 debt that they've been chipping away at. You can see as a result, 452 million principal amount of these notes remain outstanding. So this is around a 10% chunk of the debt due in 2026 that the company just retired. And this is big news for a couple of reasons. One, it proves that the company is able to keep paying down their debt. This is something that they've been doing since 2018, really since they came out of that restructuring after defaulting on their debt. They've made it a huge priority to be paying down this debt in advance. And in addition to this, this also helps them save money now because the company would be paying interest on that debt if they didn't retire it early. So they're paying almost 7% interest on this debt. So it is not cheap to keep this debt sitting around. So I think this company is doing the right thing by paying it down early, allowing them to save a ton on interest payments, which they can then put towards developing the business or towards paying down even more debt. All right, now here is what I think is one of the biggest catalysts that has been driving the stock higher. That is news of the Senate runoffs in Georgia and what's been going on there, especially in terms of advertising dollars being spent for that election. So the headline of this article, big cash is continuing to flood into the Georgia runoff that will determine Senate control. So in Georgia, we've seen a ton of political spending, and this benefits Cumulus because they're going to have political ads that are played on their radio stations. And so we can see here on top of the 206 million that was spent before the November 3rd election, it's estimated that since November 6th, advertisers have spent at least 80 million on the race, and the Purdue and Ossoff campaigns have already pre-booked another 67 million in spending by January 5th. It then goes on to say that around 113 million has been spent by outside groups. So this is huge news for this company. Obviously, I knew that this was going to be a good year in terms of revenues for the company because election years always bring in higher revenues for radio companies, but this is honestly as good as it could have gotten. Because first we had the presidential election, which everyone was calling the most important election ever, and we had a ton of money being thrown at advertisements for that. So that on its own was good, but now we have the Senate race, and this is crucial because this will determine if Democrats take control of the Senate, which would be big news. So right now, everyone's hyper-focused on Georgia and the Senate race there, which is resulting in all of this money being spent on political advertisement. Now, the great thing about Cumulus is that they have a large media presence in Georgia. Their headquarters are actually in Atlanta, Georgia, and here is from their website. You can search their radio stations by state, and if you take a look at the Georgia stations, they have a huge variety of radio stations in the state of Georgia. Here is a list of all of them. And so this is going to be very good. You have a record amount of money being spent in one state, which is probably the state that Cumulus has the largest media presence in. So in terms of fourth quarter political revenues for Cumulus Media, I'm not really sure what to expect, but I know it's going to be a lot. We know that in the third quarter, it was around 5 million in political revenues, and historically Q4 is going to be higher than Q3 anyway, because that includes the entire month of October and the beginning of November. But now we're also going to see a boost from this runoff election spending, which is spanned from November, December, and even going into January. So in terms of my expectation, I think if the company did 5 million in quarter three, I could easily see them surpassing 10 million and doubling that amount. And I wouldn't even be surprised if we saw something like 15 million in political revenues just from this fourth quarter. Obviously, this would be a huge benefit to the company, and this is grabbing a lot of attention right now, which is why I do think Cumulus and a lot of the radio stocks in general have been going up. So now let's talk about what I'm doing now with Cumulus stock. We can take a look, and since the beginning of November, the stock has almost doubled. They were at $5 at the beginning of November, and now in the middle of December, They're currently sitting at $9.54, and they broke over $10 in the last couple of days. And so as of right now, I'm not doing anything with the stock. I'm planning on holding my full position because, as I've said in previous videos, I think the stock could double again from here, and even then it would still look cheap. So I see no reason to sell now. However, it is sort of concerning the run that we've seen over the past couple of months. Of course, this has happened with a lot of stocks in the stock market, not just Cumulus. Just yesterday, I made a video about Contura, which is up almost 60% in just 3 days. So this is happening with a lot of stocks. So really what I want to see with Cumulus is some sort of consolidation or pullback in the stock price. I don't think it's healthy for the stock to just keep going up in a straight line. You know, the longer it does that, the worse the correction will be whenever it comes. And so I think the best thing for this company right now would be to see a little bit of a sell-off. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we came back down to around $8. Touch the 20-day moving average. I think that would be a nice solid pullback that would allow the stock to continue to trend higher without being overextended. So I'm not selling any of my stock now. I'm not buying any now either. They are overextended at the moment. I do expect a pullback, and I just think my cost basis for this company is so low. It's under $3.50. So, I really don't want to raise that. And right now, this is one of my largest positions, if not the largest. It constantly switches with Bank OZK. But right now, I'm fine with my position. And I probably wouldn't add any more. If we got a huge correction and stock came back down to $5 there, I would potentially add more. But anywhere above that price, I am fine with just holding my position and just watching and waiting to see what happens with this stock. So that's it for an update on Cumulus Media. I know a lot of you have been asking for an update on the stock since it's been up a lot so much. So that's really what I have to say. Nothing's really changed. It just seems like now the market is finally starting to realize the value of a lot of these smaller companies that I'm invested in. So let me know down in the comments if you own this stock and what you're planning on doing with it. If you found value out of this video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So that's it for now, and I'll see you on the next video.